Hi guys, my name is Christine and I'm a dating, relationship and personal development coach. And today I'm talking about hot and cold behavior. Okay, so when it comes to this sort of thing, because a viewer asked me about hot and cold behavior and I just wanted to address this sort of thing and make it into a whole video. So the issue with hot and cold behavior is that if someone is giving you mixed signals like that, like sometimes they're really passionate about you, want to see you, and then suddenly you don't hear from them for ages, and it's happened like this consistently, then you got to sort of take this as mixed signals. And I like a quote that I've seen all over the internet, and that is like, take mixed signals as a no, right? You want to be focusing your attention on people that are enthusiastic about you, that really, really want to date you, right? Someone that really likes you and is really into you and finds you attractive will not go hot and cold on you, okay? Not unless perhaps there's someone else that they could be dating, perhaps they're like you and they like someone else at the same amount and they're not sure who to pick, or perhaps someone keeps on coming back into the picture like an ex. Because I've seen this happen, I had once a client went out on a date with a woman, and then things were looking really good, and they were, connecting a lot, they were talking a lot, and then suddenly the client's date said to them, "Look, hey, my exes came back into the picture, and I'm not really sure how I feel now," and they started to act more cold. Right? And it's because the ex came back. And what you've got to realize is that if someone has a more of an emotional investment in an ex or someone else who they've known longer than you, then it's very likely that they're going to go back to that person who they have a stronger emotional investment in, because they don't know you as well as they know the other person, and perhaps they still have some old feelings there, right? Which I don't condone. Like, I feel like if you're going to start dating someone new, you need to truly be over your ex. So that means if your ex comes back into the picture, you would be like, no thanks. You need to be at that point before you start dating someone else. Because if the ex does come back, you could potentially end up breaking someone's heart, like how my client's heart got broken from this sort of situation, right? So it's not nice to do that sort of thing to someone, right? You have to be over your ex before you start dating someone new. Okay, so that means if your ex came back into the picture, you'd say, no thank you, I'm not interested, while you're single, right? Okay, not just because you feel like you've met someone better, but because you actually have got to that place where if your ex came back into your life, you'll be like, ugh, no, right? While you're single, right? So that's why sometimes someone can give you mixed signals. Another reason why someone can be hot and cold and be giving you mixed signals is if maybe perhaps you got a bit too needy or something like that, or you were over pursuing or something along those lines, and you were acting more invested in the relationship or this dating scenario than what they were. So if you're just dating someone, it's important that you hold off, especially if you're the one that falls in love faster. If you're the one that falls in love faster, like me, I've been there, done that. I'm always wanted to go, yeah, it's instant relationship, please. That's me, right? Especially if I'm really, really into someone, like that's what I want. Like I want to be together straight away. I want to be, lovey-dovey straight away. But, people fall in love at different rates. Sometimes when you're dating someone, you have to go at their pace, right? Especially if you're the one that falls in love and your emotions are instantly engaged right away, right? And you can't help yourself, but you have to be able to rein it in and wait for their feelings to develop too. Because even if they're not at the same level as you when you start dating, it doesn't mean that they can't get to your level, right? It just means that they fall in love a little bit slower. And that's just how it happens. Like sometimes it takes a while for someone to warm up to you, while you might be a person like me who instantly warms up to someone, right? So you just gotta wait it out basically and go at their pace, not try to force things. So sometimes someone can be hot and cold to you if you've been trying to force things, if you've been going too fast, if you've been going from a 0 to 100, like talking about relationships too soon, saying that you're in love with them too soon, telling them how much you like them too soon, right? And basically the way that I've always used is someone at my level yet? How do I know? And the reason, and how you know if someone's at your level now, let's say you're in love with them and you're holding back, you don't want to say I love you yet. How do you know if the other person is in love with you? You know that by a few different things. First of all, they may say it to you first. They'll say I love you, or they'll say I really, really like you. Then you can reciprocate, right? Another way to kind of tell if someone's there is if you've, spent a lot of time together. Let's say you're seeing each other on the weekends. You're even seeing each other in the week. You're spending loads and loads of time together, and you've started to meet their friends and you've started to meet their parents. Then yeah, they're probably at that level where you can be like, I really like you. But the thing is that you don't really need to say it then at that point, because it's obvious that you two are now in a relationship. So you don't have to really say anything. In fact, it's very childish to be like, go up to someone who you're dating and be like, will you be my girlfriend now? Or will you be my boyfriend now? That's what like 14-year-olds do, right? Or, are we in a relationship? Again, it's like, sometimes it's obvious that you're in a relationship. If you've met their friends and their parents, you're seeing each other on the weekends, they're not dating anyone else, you're not dating anyone else, you're in a relationship. You don't need to say anything about it, okay? These things will come about eventually, right? The confessions or whatever, them saying I really like you or I'm in love with you or something like that. It will come about. So it's best if you're the one that falls in love fast to wait for them to do that sort of stuff first, right? So what do you do then if someone is acting hot and cold, he's giving you mixed signals, and you really, really are absolutely adamant on trying to reattract them, right? Personally, for me, if someone was hot and cold with me, I wouldn't continue dating them, right? I'd be like, okay, then obviously not that into me. I'm not going to waste my time because I don't know where I really stand with this person. But if you are adamant on trying to reattract this person, then there are a few things that you can do to try and rectify the situation. So one of those things is to not be bothered by their actions, right? So if you got to seem like you are unaffected by the fact that they're hot and cold. So when they're cold and they don't speak to you for a while, or whatever it is that they are doing to show you that they're being cold, don't respond to it. Don't get angry about it. Don't get sad about it. Don't tell them about it. Keep it to yourself or talk to your therapist about it, right? And when they're being hot, when they're being warm, when they're being receptive to you, when they're reaching out to you and pursuing you, you got to just act like nothing happened, right? You got to be like, hey, it's great to hear from you. How you been? And then you say, when are you free to hang out, and arrange a date with them, right? That's what you do, okay? So you're not bothered by their actions. So what you do then in that sort of situation, what you're showing is you're giving them positive reinforcement rather than negative reinforcement. So if someone's been cold to you for a while and they've been giving you mixed signals and then suddenly they're into you again, you've got to give them positive reinforcement because they are now behaving in the way that you want them to behave. So you do that by being happy when they reach out to you, being like, hey, it's great to hear from you. When are you free to hang out? Let's meet this weekend or something like that. You say that to them rather than saying something like, oh, thank you for gracing me again with your presence, princess, or whatever it is that you may say in a passive-aggressive way, right? Don't give them negative reinforcement because that will repel them. Because, sometimes you don't know what's going on in someone's life, right? It could be that they've been having a difficult time. Perhaps they've got some, mental health issues that they're struggling with right now. Perhaps they're it's the winter, so maybe they're getting a bit of SAD. Who knows what's going on in someone else's head? Who knows what's going on in someone else's life, right? So, they might have just had a bit of a blip, and now they might be back. And they might be back, like, oh yeah, I really want to date this person. I've had some struggles and I've had some time to think about different things, and yeah, I actually really like this person. I'm going to reach out to them. So if you reach out to them and they're in that mindset, if they reach out to you and they're in that mindset, right, and you say something negative to them, like, how come it's taking you so long to respond, or whatever it may be that you're going to say in a negative way, that's going to repel them, and they're going to be like, oh, okay, maybe I'm not so sure about this person now. But if you're positive and you're like, hey, it's great to hear from you, then they're going to be like, oh, okay, they can relax, they can let their guard down, right? And you've reinforced the behavior that you've wanted, which is them to reach out to you, them to be more receptive to you. Okay, but only do this if you genuinely don't care that this person has been hot and cold. For me, I would not want to spend my time with this person. I want to spend time with people that actually want to be there and want to be there from the get-go, right? But, you know, again, you don't know what's going on in someone else's life. They could have issues going on that you don't know about, right? Because positive reinforcement will attract them, right? So if you're positive and receptive to them, they will respond better to that, okay? Also, match and mirror. You know, that's something else that I talk about. Where you look at your phone and you go through the correspondence that you two have been having. Who's sending the longer messages? Who's sending the more frequent messages? Who is initiating the conversation most of the time? If any of that is you, then you've got to back off and really slim that down and kind of match and mirror how they're doing. Like if they only send you a sentence, then you only send a sentence. If they send a paragraph, then yeah, okay, now you're open to sending a paragraph to them. If it takes them a day to respond to you, then you take a day to respond, or maybe even 2 days, right? You want to stretch it out, okay? Because what it shows is that you're not attached. You're not desperate to like get in contact with them and things like that. So just match and mirror their behavior. That's another thing that can kind of rectify this situation. You know, if you're always initiating contact, then wait for them to initiate contact with you, okay? But all in all, you know, I would focus my energies on those people that are reciprocating, not these ones that reciprocate sometimes and then other times you don't hear from them for ages, okay? Because, you know, it could be the fact that they may be just seeking your attention or something like that. So, personally for me, I would not engage with this person anymore if they're being hot and cold to you, okay? And there's another thing that can help as well, which is non-neediness, which was like a phrase coined by Mark Manson in his book Models, which I highly recommend that you check out for yourself, the book Models by Mark Manson. It's a great book on dating and communication, and one of the best, I think, on that sort of situation, on those techniques. And it really helps you become non-needy, because that might be one of the reasons why you put off this person. It could be the reason why they're hot and cold now. We don't know. But if you feel like you've been needy and over pursuing, I recommend that you go and check out that book. You'll be able to find my recommended books down in the description below, and they are books that I recommend all my clients and viewers, and I wish that I could download all of the information and put them directly into your brains, because I feel like it would solve 95% of your romantic problems and any issues that you're having with your personal success in life. Okay, so I highly recommend that you go and check that out. You might be able to find a few lectures that Mark Manson did as well on that sort of thing too. A few articles I'm sure you can find on his website about non-neediness and dating. But definitely get the book Models by Mark Manson. You don't have to use the links that I've sent that are in the description. But you know, just go out and get it, because it's really, really useful. Okay, or get the audiobook version on Audible. Okay, if you've got an Audible membership. This was not sponsored by Audible in any way, but that's just a place where you can get the audiobook for a lot cheaper. Okay, so thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to get in touch with me personally and you'd like coaching with me, then please go to www.christineloveridge.com. Thank you so much for watching, and I shall talk to you again very soon. Goodbye.